It begins with a letter, not a love letter. In 1982, the most famous young man on the planet starts receiving messages that terrify him. And out of that fear, he sits down and writes the greatest pop song of the 20th century. By 1982, Michael Jackson is 24 years old. He has been on stage since he was 5. He knows cameras and choreography and crowd noise, but he has never known a normal life. And with the level of fame he has reached, something dark travels alongside it. Obsession. Women write to him. Some claim he has fathered their children. Some write to him every single day. Some build entire lives around a fantasy that has nothing to do with reality. In his own autobiography, Jackson describes this pattern. He calls them groupies, people who confuse a performance with a relationship. It happens once, then again, until one day, it goes further than letters. One evening, Jackson is driving alone through Los Angeles. A bass line appears in his head, so insistent, so complete, he can barely keep his hands on the wheel. He pulls over. He hums it into a recorder before it disappears. That bass line will become one of the most recognizable in the history of recorded music. But the song is not just about a melody. It is about something real that is closing in on him. At some point during this period, Jackson receives a package. Inside, a letter. The letter claims he is the father of the sender's child. And in some accounts, the package contains more than words. Jackson later describes the experience not as a threat he dismisses, but as one of the most frightening moments of his life. Because the person is not angry. They are certain. And certainty without truth is the most dangerous thing there is. He sits down, and he writes. The song is a direct response to what he is living. A declaration. A warning. A line drawn between who he is on stage and who people imagine him to be in private. When Jackson brings the finished track to his producer, Quincy Jones, Jones has one major concern. The bass line plays for nearly a full minute before the vocals arrive. Jones believes it is too long. Radio stations, he argues, will cut it. He wants to shorten it. Jackson refuses. That's the jelly, Jackson reportedly tells him. That's what makes people move. You don't cut the jelly. On January 2, 1983, Billie Jean is released as the second single from Thriller. Within 72 hours, it is on every radio station in America. And then something happens that no one predicted. For its first 2 years on air, MTV has an unofficial but undeniable policy. Almost no music videos by black artists receive heavy rotation on the channel. CBS Records, Jackson's label, draws a line. They tell MTV, play Billie Jean, or we pull every artist we have from your network. MTV plays it. Billie Jean becomes the first song by a black artist to receive heavy rotation on MTV. The door, once closed, never fully closes again. For months later, May 16, 1983, performing Billie Jean on the Motown 25 television special, Jackson debuts something the world has never seen. The moonwalk. 147 million people watch it live. Billie Jean hits #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It stays there for 7 weeks. At the 1984 Grammy Awards, Michael Jackson wins 8 awards in a single night, a record that still stands today. The official music video now has nearly 2 billion views on YouTube. A song recorded in 1982, still pulling millions of new listeners every single year. New generations keep finding it, keep asking the same question. Who was the real Billie Jean? The answer is, she was everyone. She was no one. She was the moment Michael Jackson took his deepest fear and turned it into something eternal. Who do you think the real Billie Jean was? Drop your theory in the comments. And if you want the story behind the next great song, subscribe. Because every hit has a secret.